Welcome to the first episode of the Retail Therapist Podcast.
Ooh.
I'll welcome my guests, Carly B.
It's nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
And Jamie Lee Benjley.
Hello everybody. Nice to be here.
So on today's episode, we're going to be speaking about the colored identity and we're going to be exploring issues we experience, but through a different lens. We're going to be playing a game called We're Not Really Strangers. So how I set it up was, I made the spinner. The red, yellow, and blue primary colors will be easy questions. The orange, green, and purple will be medium questions. And then the black and brown are like harder questions. So we're going to spin them and then we're going to go around and like take it from there.
Cool. Sounds good.
Ooh.
I'm so excited to play this game.
I'm worried about the questions.
Ooh, we're starting with a brown question.
That's like the tough one.
The tough one, the hard one.
Rip the band-aid off.
Okay, Carl, you can choose one. Okay, some of the first one. Let me read it. Take 30 seconds to write down the most important things in your life, and then we're going to compare them.
Whoa. Oh, so we're all doing it.
So we're all doing this one.
Okay.
So I brought the Snoop papers along, you know, double-purposed. So I'm going to read it again. Take 30 seconds to write down the 3 most important things in your life.
The 3 most important.
3 most important things.
Whoa.
That's a lot of things.
And that's time, guys.
Whoa. Oh, you're strict on that time.
Strictly, it's 30 seconds.
Okay.
So, Carly, you can go first since you gave us the question.
So, what's most important to me
Yeah.
is definitely my son.
Okay.
Then it will be my health and my
Ooh.
family. Those are most important to me.
Okay, and you, Jamie?
Okay, so I wrote down human connection, but when I wrote that down, I did mean friends and family. And then I said movement, so exercise or like
Okay.
dancing, any type of movement. Then I didn't get to write down my third one because you were strict on the time, but I will say probably, let's go, water. Can't live without it.
You can't live without... Okay,
No.
that's actually
I'm a
smart one.
thirsty.
I wrote my dog. My dog's like my son. Like, I think I've learned a lot from my dog. I think, like, colored people and their dogs, like, there's no stronger connection. Like, especially during lockdown, that's when I, like, learned about the attachment that I have to my dog. Because, like, he loves me so unconditionally.
Yeah.
Like, it's not what I do for him. It's, like, me just being there.
Yeah.
Is your therapy?
He's my therapy, and, like, the best part is that he doesn't talk. Like, I can just come home, we get on the bed there, we cuddle. He just looks at me. I'm like, yo, what I do for you.
Yeah.
Um,
You get to vent and then they must just listen.
Carly, do you have a dog?
I have one dog.
What's your dog's name?
Shadow.
Shadow. Oh,
Cute.
very creative.
Is he black?
Yeah,
She's-
she's brown and black. She's a German Shepherd. That
Oh,
dog
nice.
makes me crazy, but okay.
And you, Jamie Lee?
I have 2 dogs, 2 pit bulls.
Ooh.
The ooh is leading me to believe that there's a stereotypical bad rap there, but my dog's very lovable.
Okay, so
yeah.
what's your take on the Pitbull, like, debate?
Okay, so I do know that they have a stereotypical or like a stigma surrounding them that they are violent, ambitious, and I think it's mostly because of the way that they are bred or brought up or trained. A lot of them are trained to fight, which is unfortunate and very sad considering I have 2 of my own. But I think that if you just give them love and, you know, show them love, basically like build that relationship with them, treat them as you would like any other creature on this planet, then they will show you love back. It's
Okay.
like a very give and take relationship. Like you were saying, like they are like my best friends, and they you know, it's almost like they can sense like what you need before you tell them, because
Yes.
they can like feel your energy. So yeah, from my personal experience, Pitbulls are the best dogs.
Because I think it goes back, like when I'd watch The Dog Whisperer, it always starts with the owner. And I think if the owner is correct, and then the dog will be correct, if that makes sense. And I think it's more, we should maybe do like a licensing process where like if you had a permit and you like went for special training and then you could get the pit bull, for example. I think there is a purpose for them in the world, and I do think as like any other creatures, they should exist. And like, it's just unfortunate that weak people, should I say, have strong dogs.
Yeah, that's actually true.
I think that like also goes with like any relationship in life. Like if you aren't strong, the relationship's gonna pull you, and like you're not gonna be in control. So it's I think it's like something that folds over into other aspects. Because like the best dog owners I know tend to be the best people I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
So number 2 for me was my friends.
Yeah.
'Cause I consider them like my family. Like one thing I've noticed in colored culture is how much like we learn from our friends. I learned this term recently. It's benign parenting. It's where your parents don't take care of you, but not because they don't want to. It's that they're so busy with their own lives and like trying to provide and stuff that they kind of neglect you in a certain sense. And then that's where your friends come in, and like that's like your positive like role models, and like they assure you on things. And like I think I've learned more from my friends than anyone else.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same way?
Yes, I do.
It's true. It's very true.
I think it's also because we're like growing up. They're like our peers, and they're kind of experiencing the same sort of era that we're experiencing. So we like kind of can relate in terms of like the issues that we face.
Yeah.
And our parents have like sort of the same issues. So we're like all like trying to help each other navigate that.
I also think like when I was growing up, like playing in the road was like a big thing for us. So then it would be like everybody in the same neighborhood would not necessarily, but like go be in the same economic bracket. So we go through the same economic problems, and necessarily the same economic problems resonate with the same types of people. But I think what's helped, like, I think today's like younger generations, the benefit of the internet and like being able to communicate with people outside of themselves. Like I think like colored culture sort of is an echo chamber.
Yeah.
So we aren't taught better sometimes because we just follow what we were taught to a certain degree. We just like left there to raise ourselves.
Yeah. I do think that there's a lot to be said about that sort of like passing on of traditions and like our parents, especially in the colored community. I don't think our parents had the opportunities that we have now. So like in their minds, there is a certain like definition of success for like the colored person. It's being able to, you know, put your kids through school and then to be able to afford them the opportunity to study further, and then they get a good job, which tends to be like there's like a few good jobs like doctor, lawyer, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you make it in the broadcasting space, it's like, yo, my daughter sounds a superstar. Like you're there like really quiet, and then like the whole neighborhood or the whole community is like idolizing this one person. But I think it's important that our parents or the older colored generation also realizes that the hard work that they did and the struggles that they went through was also to give us more opportunities and to expose us to more things than they were back in the dizzle.
Okay, that's good. Do you think you've broken any like family curses or things that were passed down to you? Do you think you have unlearned things?
I could write a book about the things I've unlearned.
Let's start with Carl. Do you think there's anything that like was taught to you that you've grown or you see better now that you have your own son, that you like try to do better in this certain aspects?
Yeah, so there was always this thing in my family where there's a lot of pressure on you.
Yeah.
Because many of the people in my family, they didn't finish school or they left school to provide for the family and whatever. So I feel like I was pressured into, I need to finish school at this age and this time. But when I didn't do it, my life wasn't any different, and there was less people around to support me and so on. Whereas I needed more people to support me and help me through it, then there was nobody. But they could put all this pressure on when I was at school and whatever. So what I will do, or what I'm still unlearning, is the fact that I don't want to pressure myself. Not that I don't want him to finish school and get a good job or whatever, but I don't want him to have that mindset that you need to do this to get it right. There's many ways to do things, so you don't only need to have this type of job to get that type of car and what. I want to be able to teach him that you can go about it differently, you can take your time, it's not going to affect you much more than it did others. Because there's people that come from nothing and they make success of themselves without anything. So if you have that support, then I believe that that is the one thing that I want to unlearn, so that I can teach him that just focus on what you need and what you want, and stop thinking that there's only one way to get things.
Facts.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you, Jamie?
No, I honestly agree with that. I think I also, that's like very big in my life. I also had to unlearn that. I think if I could just take it back a little bit, I definitely used to be, for lack of a better word, like a goody two shoes. When I was younger, I didn't really like, I basically took like everything that my parents taught me as Bible, and I was like, okay, they are like teaching me that this is the way to go, do the school thing, do the university thing, you know, get the good job, the stability, the pension fund, the medical aid, like all of these things. But like for me personally, I went through a lot of, when I was in matric still, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like, I was so lost, and to a degree I'm more sure of myself and what I want to do now, but it took so long. Like, I'm turning 26 in April, and I feel like I'm only now starting to realize to like understand who I am and what I want to do. But I think there is that pressure that you feel when you're in school and your parents are like, you must study hard, your marks are all that matters, because like it's what's going to determine your future and whatever. And it's like, I'm so young, but I need to think about the next like 50 years of my life.
Like in my case, I did things backwards. I had a baby, I then finished college, and then I only got my matric. Then I got the job. So that is why I was like, there's many ways to do it. There isn't just that one way. You don't just need to go about it one specific way, because I did it backwards.
Yeah.
So there's clearly more than one way to go about it.
Exactly. And I think success looks different for we're all different, and we all have different lived experiences. So even though we are all colored, each of us have a different colored experience as well. And I think people need to realize, and our parents need to realize that that we're unique and special, and our lives are going to unfold in different ways than what they expected.
Yeah.
So stop putting pressure on us, basically.
So this is called the take a break brinjal. So if you want to interrupt one of us, you just put this up, and then we'll take a break, and then you can continue. So I'll just put this down over here so long.
Okay.
So I think
I don't know when last I heard the word brinjal.
it is a brinjal. I don't know.
So is this not a eggplant, or is like a brinjal another name for an eggplant?
You can call it the eggplant. I don't know. I like to call it the brinjal.
Because when you held this up, I was like,
I prefer it when other people touch it, to be honest.
Of course.
take a break, brinjal.
So I think I'm going to start with like a defense for the older generation, because I feel like they didn't know any better, and I think it's the legacy of apartheid to a certain degree. Like, I think it's a mental thing where they like, okay, this is how it works, and they didn't know any better, and they didn't have the opportunities or the resources that we have. So they're like, okay. And like, I think to a certain degree, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Like, it's on them to change, you know what I mean? Like, you can only focus on yourself, and you can only do so much. And like, other people's opinion only counts so much. You let it define you.
Yeah.
So I think also finding independence as a colored person, I think that's like a big thing, finding your space and what it means to be colored to you.
Yeah.
Do you think it's cool being colored?
Yeah. Yes.
It's different.
It's different, the quiet taste.
It's different.
So what do you like about being colored?
That we have this thing where we can just say whatever, whenever. So I think that's cool about it.
Okay. And what do you think when a colored person sees you? What's the first thing they look at?
What do you mean? Like if
Even
you're
if-
meeting someone for the first
Yeah,
time?
what's the first thing a colored person looks at?
Your
Definitely
shoes.
shoes.
Definitely shoes.
Definitely your shoes.
What's number 2?
Probably your jewelry, I would
Yeah,
say.
like maybe looking for that chain.
Okay, I was still thinking hair. I don't know. I think like hair is like a big thing in the color. I was gonna go jewelry number 3.
Nah, shoes, jewelry. I don't know so much about the.
Yeah, same.
Okay. Okay, maybe
Watching Google.
You're watching.
Guys, I'll take a break.
To be honest though, like when it does come to hair, that is like a whole chat on its own. Because I'm a wash and go girl now, but I definitely used to be spend 3 hours at the hairdresser every week, straighten like till my hair's doed, and then like it can't come back to life after that. Like I definitely went through a time where I think even in school, like it was part of the dress code to have neat hair. And if your hair was like, so curly hair is like a very common hair texture for colored people.
Yeah.
But for some reason, there was like a stigma. I think it's getting better now, but curly equals wild and untamed. And I had to go through my own sort of like journey of self-acceptance and like trying to like be okay with the hair that's growing out of my own skull, because for some reason I grew up like thinking that it was untidy and made me any less of a person, or like any less, I guess, sophisticated, or like
I think also we aren't
civilized.
really taught to love ourselves.
Yeah.
Like from a young age, I think that's like something you pick up, because I think more often we are put down
Yeah.
because like, again, people don't know any better. That's what happened to you. That's what happened to my parents, and that made them hard. So necessarily, I have to be hard. You know what I mean? And I feel like as a guy, it's even harder, because I remember like being always told, "Don't cry." That's like the number 1 rule. Like, and I had to learn to cry. Like I have to cry now. Like I love seeing like sporting moments. Like did I cry?
I was
Yo.
looking at for sport though.
When Liverpool lost the Champions League, yo. When Liverpool lose every week, yo. Snorted tranen. It's tough out here. My gold ring. So I think that goes back to what colored people look at. It makes me feel like a pump when I put it on. You know, that's like the first thing I do. Put on my ring, and then I check myself in the mirror for the fade.
Yeah, the
Either the fade tells me that I'm doing okay in life. If I can afford the fade, I know, it's not too bad. You know what I mean?
Do you know?
Trim is straight.
Yo, the trim's not straight, yo. That aroma barber. So let's move on to the next question. So that's an orange question.
Okay, not too shabby.
Here you go.
You want me to read it?
Yeah.
Okay. Describe the feeling of being in love in 1 word. Oh, that's sweet. Okay. Describe the feeling of being in love in 1 word. Oh, you giving us time to think about it?
Yo, that's a hard one. What is it like to be in love? I think being in love is like
1 word.
dizziness. It's like you don't know what's like really happening, but you sort of want to just go with it. Like when you're dizzy, you just want to fall, but you don't want to. And I think like that's when you kind of know you're in love, when it's like you're being pulled in towards it, and you might like want to fight it because a lot of the time we also don't know how to love. Like
Yeah.
you can't give somebody something that you don't have yourself.
Yeah.
So I think like self-love, yeah, I don't know.
Okay. What
You
word?
can go
I'm still thinking. I'm like thinking
trying
of
to
one
think
word.
because I've been in a relationship for 4 years and I don't know how to explain it. So now sitting here thinking, how would I explain my love?
Yeah.
So in one word, it's difficult.
It
It's
is
difficult to
difficult.
put it in one word.
Especially because that word needs to encapsulate the ups and the
Everything.
downs.
Yeah, so-
like what makes sense and what completely
Yeah.
makes no sense.
Because I think like love is like a very broad word because sometimes we confuse it with being in love, and sometimes love can just be tolerance. Like sometimes I might not like somebody,
But I'm going
or
to tolerate
but I
it.
just tolerate them and being in their presence, and that's a form of love.
Yeah,
like
it's like showing
maybe not
love.
towards that person, but to the people around us. That I'm not being like one of these. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think dizziness is actually a good way because, like you said, this word needs to explain the ups, the downs, the everything. So I won't be able to give a word of my own, but dizziness would be a go-to.
Okay.
I want to say, to go along with dizziness, maybe like whirlwind.
Okay.
So, cause like, I feel like you can get swept up in it, and there are points where you don't know where you are, but you just want to be in it.
Yeah.
Because being without it is almost like worse than being in the whirlwind.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Completely understand what you're saying.
Yeah, like even when you are dealing with things that are not so positive or uplifting in the moment, you'd rather be working through that struggle or those issues than be without the people that you love.
Mm-hmm.
And once you work through it, you almost love the people more afterwards because it's like, yo, we went through this. You know, how, like trauma and crisis and disaster brings people together.
Yeah.
I think that's when you only see your real friends is when it's like you're going through it. Like it's easy to be friends when it's the good times and
Yeah.
like, but that's when it's like when somebody has to give you something. Like I remember one time like my mom put me out the house and then I went to my friend's house.
Your mom put you out there.
Yo, the stuff,
Yo, is
tough
that
times.
like a little what?
We can't speak on such matters. Maybe afterwards I can tell you about it. It was one of those nights, you know.
Yeah. No, we
And
know.
then my friend, he had to ask his wife because he got married quite young, and then me and him had to sleep on the floor in his lounge, and I was like, yo, bruh, like you could have just like sleep with your wife, but he was like, nah, you could go through it with me and like talk to me and stuff. I was like, yo, cute.
That's sweet. That's when you know. That's
when you know.
a brother for life.
Let's move on to the next question.
Yeah.
So I have a yellow question. Ooh,
Is that an easy one?
that's an easy one.
The easiest.
Okay.
To be honest, these conversations are really good. Like it's chats that need to be had, you know.
Okay, so I have to ask the two of you first. What compliment do you think I hear the most?
A compliment to you, Yelma.
What do you think I hear the most?
So you asking us for compliments?
That's what it sounds like.
I'm
to
not gonna
me.
complain though, you know, like
So do you want to go first? I'm joking.
like if pretty girls compliment me, I'm not gonna, you know, I don't mind.
Honestly, I would say that people say you have good energy because that's what I think about you. I think your energy precedes you.
Thank you.
I think that they would compliment you on like how kind you are.
Hmm.
Like even the first time when we met, you weren't there. Like you're going to now. You did coming to you. It was like I didn't have to worry about asking you. Could you help me with this? It was straight. You were straight up like. This is what you like an excited dog. Like when you come home, so when you come home and this dog is all excited and they don't even need to know you. Dog don't need to know you, but they will get excited or they'll get upset. So you just always that energetic dog. Sorry to put it
I
like
got
that.
the dog in me, I guess.
It must be the D-O-double-G though. There we go. Plug.
Same WhatsApp group. So yeah, that is actually the compliment I get the most. So well done. I think that's a good observation. I'd like to get more compliments on my posture. I think I have a nice posture. I don't know, like broad shoulders. I don't know.
Maybe it's just the blazer.
Yeah, I think so. That good tailoring.
That good tailoring. Let's go. I hope it's a black one. Oh, these are black one. Hey! I'll ask this question and then. Okay, let's take one from the middle. Okay. So we're gonna do it in. We're gonna go around. So
Okay.
Carly and I will answer first, and then me and you will answer, and then the two of you will answer. So
Okay,
what do you think I fear the most?
Oh.
Oh, you two can go first. What do you think I fear the
Whoa.
most?
What do we think you fear the most?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Anything?
Maybe losing your dog.
That's probably a big fear of yours.
I think that's a
I
big
think
fear.
that would be my number one. Like something that I had to like learn again was abandonment issues. So like when like my dog had to die, I'd feel like alone because like I put so much into my dog because he's at home. So it's like I'm even more attached to him.
Yeah.
So if something should happen to him, it's like I'd feel the loss almost double.
Yeah.
So I think maybe not necessarily just my dog, but I think like losing people.
Yeah, losing people
would be my
is what
biggest
I was
fear.
thinking, yeah.
I feel like that's the same for the two of you as well.
Yeah.
Oh, were you guys gonna say
Okay,
what
must
you
we
think
guess what
mine-
yours?
Yeah, what mine is.
I think losing yourself, losing your perception of yourself, losing who you are. I think getting caught up in emotions, maybe.
That's like
Oh.
along the lines actually.
Okay.
Like not really figuring out who you really are at a certain point in your
Wow,
life.
you guys like what is
like
happening?
that
You're like
would
in
be-
my head here. 100%. Like both of those answers combined. Biggest fear right there. That's wild. That's actually like it makes me feel like I'm almost like not alone. Because you could think along those lines. It's like
Yeah.
you can relate in some sort of way. Wow.
And I think for Carly, obviously, it'd be like something happening to your son.
Yeah.
Yeah,
your
that
child.
that is a constant fear, and he's at Krish, so the other children. It's like when I came home, I was fine at work the whole time, and then I was getting phone calls the whole time, but I couldn't answer the phone. So when I get home, I find that he has a hole in his head. He let the brick fall on his head. So every day it's a fear. If he's playing with a stick, I fear. If he sweeps the house, like he's 3 years old, so he loves
Yeah,
cleaning. So
yeah.
he will sweep. If he playing with the dog, it's a constant fear that something happens to him.
Yeah.
More than with himself. Like even if he play by himself, he gets hurt. How do you let a brick fall on your own head?
Yo, that's it. Yeah.
So that is the constant fear, like anything happening to my son.
Okay, on that bombshell, I think we're gonna wrap this up. I'd like to thank the two of you lovely ladies for joining me and like blessing me with your being here, your energy. Like I couldn't have done this without you, so thank you. Do you have anything you want to shout out? Anyone you want to shout out? Any plugs you want to put out there?
Okay, so I need to. I'm going to be held with this forever. I would like to give a shout out to my grandma. She's in Mariesburg. I love you so much, and yes, I am really at Heart FM.
I am just very grateful and happy to be here. I'm happy to be experiencing this with you guys. Yeah, that's it. I'm just thankful.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys. This is an episode of The Retail Therapist. Remember, I'm not a real therapist. Only you can help yourself. Thank you.